This is a long overdue update on my 1960 Ford F100. Since the last video I did, it largely was pretty much all together. Since then I've taken off the back tailgate bumper, removed the radiator, front bumper, seat, and part of the engine because I'm trying to score a cherry picker to pull the motor and transmission that are bad. It was a 292 Y-block V8 2-barrel with a T98, I think, 3-speed on the tree. And the truck was sitting since 92 or 3 or 4, I forget, due to the second gear being stuck. My grandfather was elderly when he owned the truck, and he couldn't afford or drive the truck really anymore. I put the Alabama tag back on it that was on there. I remember putting it on there back in 91 for my grandfather. Here's the old tires that were on there probably since 83. There were recaps and they cracked because the truck was sitting here forever, and then code enforcement Nazis got on me and I had to punch it in the backyard where it sat and sat and sat, and the back tires just went to shit and split, and they're flat. I want to get some wide rims and put these on these Cooper Cobras 250 or 275 50R15s. I have a new front axle. Well, not new, but used, but it's in a hell of a lot better shape. It has good brakes, new brakes anyway, and new front springs because one was busted on it. I'm on the fence here as I bleed Ford blue. But my brother got a Dodge Ram Charger for a couple $100 that ran, but it was burning oil on the 318, and the guy threw in a 100,000 mile running 318 that he had out of a junkyard. He was going to subsequently replace it, but he didn't have time, and the Ram Charger was sitting. But anyway, he sold it to my brother, and my brother's already got a 360 built up from another Ram Charger project that he was going to put on there. So he gave me this motor to put in it. I'm debating on putting it in the 60, but like I said, I bleed Ford blue. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, it's a running motor. It'd get my truck on the road, but again, I digress. Here's the extra parts. Not extra parts, actually. These are the parts. This is the West Coast mirrors and the emblems I took off because they were going to hell in the elements. The tailgate I saved, even though it's battered to crap and rusty, but I can't find another one. A friend of mine gave me a Yingling beer keg that I'm going to turn into a gas tank. I'm going to mount in the bed. This ought to be cool. But anyway, back to the truck. The beer keg would be mounted like in the middle right here. And I'm either going to put a battery right there, or a friend of mine suggested maybe cutting a hole in the bed floor here and making a hinge and making a cradle under it and having the battery out of sight and out of mind. But the bed, while it's beat to crap, it's got scaly rust and some rust up in the front, I plan on wire brushing the shit out of it and maybe painting it with something. These are what I temporarily replaced the flat tires with, the 34-inch Super Swampers on 15x10 spoke rims. I might just clean these rims up and put them on those Coopers over there. But since the last time, I replaced them with some shitty tires on the front because the front tires right off the bat were flat and cracked. But this is what I did to the interior so far. The seat I couldn't save. It was completely ate up with mice and rats, and it was disgusting. So the metal frame I scrapped. Here's the damage to the floor, rust damage. These are notorious on 57-260 Fords to rot away, and these are strong as hell on both sides. I scrapped the tank because it was too far gone. There wasn't no way you're going to put fuel in it. But a late model Chevy truck bench or Ford bench, which is smaller, I'm going to bolt in here, and that way I can have seat belts. I'm going to put a Mexican blanket over it for now to cover up the new look of the tire, but the seat. And hopefully I'll be lowering it by removing the leaf out the back and I'll leave out of the front springs. I took the emblems off, as you can see. I plan on sanding the body down some, because up in North Alabama, the patina on it lasted forever, but down here in South Florida, it's going to crap. And a hailstorm chipped away at what I thought was surface rust, but it ends up being cowl rot, so I gotta address that soon. Here's the front end. I took the headlight bezels off it because they were rusted, and I'm gonna try to replace them with better ones, or hell, the whole grill. But if I can, I'm gonna bee blast them or sandblast them one and paint them. But I took the front bumper off. It was all twisted, including the front frame horn, but a buddy of mine, John, beat it out for me, and we leveled it off, and it's pretty good. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably put a little bar in between there. But I took the front emblem off here. They're in good shape, but like I said, keeping them on the truck was just going to make them go to hell. This is the extent of what I got out of the motor. I pulled the generator out. The valve covers I'm saving. Scrapped the carburetor. The battery tray was rusted. I took that off. Got to get a late model master cylinder, preferably power. Get rid of the juice brakes and regular drum brake master cylinder here, but once the motor's pulled out, I'm gonna scrub the crap out of the engine compartment and hit it with a flat, or not flat black, but a satin black. It's gonna be a no frills rat rod style. I hate the term rat rod. I prefer more traditional hot rod, but the hood's in pretty good shape, save for some scaly crap there. But again, like I said, the steps are in great shape. Just needs to be, and I got to pull the heater core out because God knows what's in there. As far as it's probably my sarcophagus, I guess. Can't even talk. I beat the roof back in because it was caved in. So my grandfather used to stand on it while he was cutting tree branches and whatnot. Because this was a work truck up until shit, 93 at least. But I want to get a vintage tack, put it around the steering column. I want to get a custom floor shifter. It's going to come up all the way up to here. And my late father had a never used Budweiser beer, whatchamacallit, for a bar tab thing. And I'm going to put that as a gear shifter. I want to have little pieces of, you know, my late father and my grandfather, who's not doing too well. He's in his 90s, and just, yeah, it'll be a custom truck, aftermarket motor. But I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat nostalgic still. It's not gonna be billet aluminum crap everywhere. But that's the extent of the update. Looks like a Mad Max truck. A lot of people dig it. I wish it ran. I would love to just tear ass through the neighborhood with no muffler. Because I just took the muffler off because it was just rusted to shit. No muffler. Loud ass motor. Hearing them back tires that are totally wrong for it just howl. But the twisted back bumper, yeah, I told you I scrapped it. Including the whatchamacallit, the thing that bolted the frame. The brackets, they were twisted. Well, that's the update. Stay tuned. She'll be back.